What if I told you that one of Alaska's smallest cruise ports was one of the wildest towns in North America, a place full of gold rush dreamers, outlaws, and con artists, a city with a legacy that may have even left a few ghosts behind. Today's video is all about Skagway, a true gem of Alaska and one of the most popular cruise stops in the region. Stick with me, because I'm sure this small Alaskan town will really surprise you. Let's go! Hello cruise mates, welcome back to Cruising the World. I'm Horton Novak, and today we are exploring one of the most unique and historic cruise ports in all Alaska, Skagway. Skagway is one of those places where the experience starts the moment you step off the ship. And I mean that the best possible way. The port sits right next to the town. Depending on where your ship docks, you are looking at 5 to 15 minutes walk to the center of the town. No shuttles, no complicated logistics, you just step off the ship and you're already there, ready to explore. And even though Skagway is a small town, it is absolutely packed with charisma, history, and things to see and do. So let me walk through everything you need to know to make the most of your port day here in Skagway. The cruise port in Skagway is simple, clean, and very well organized. Right as you step off the ship, you will find tour operators and easy access to all the main excursions and activities in town. But honestly, one of the best things about Skagway is how easy it is to get around on foot. The town has kept its historic look and feel, with wooden sidewalks, old-style buildings, and a real frontier atmosphere that takes you straight back to the late 1800s. Walking through Skagway feels a little like stepping into a movie set. Everything is so well preserved that it is hard to believe this is a real living town and not a theme park. But to really understand and appreciate Skagway, you have to go back to the Klondike Gold Rush of the late 1890s. Back then, thousands of people flooded into this tiny town, all of them dreaming of striking it rich in the gold fields of the Yukon. Skagway became the main gateway to the Yukon territory, and at its peak, it was one of the busiest and most chaotic places in North America. However, it was not just hopeful miners passing through. Skagway was also a lawless place, full of con artists and criminals who were there to take advantage of all those dreamers. The most famous of all was a man named Soapy Smith. He was a notorious outlaw who basically ran the whole town like his own personal empire. His story is one of the most fascinating parts of the Skagway history, and you definitely will hear his name when in town. Today, Skagway is part of the Klondike Gold Rush National Historical Park, and that history is still very much alive in the streets, the buildings, and the stories people tell. It's one of the things that make this port feel so different from anywhere else in Alaska. Now let's talk about what to actually do during your port day in Skagway. There is a good mix of things to do, from big excursions to just walking around and soaking it all in. The White Pass and Yukon Route Railway is probably the most famous thing to do in Skagway, and for very good reason. To start with, as soon as you disembark, you'll be straight at the train tracks, as the port is also where the White Pass and Yukon Route Railway starts and finishes. This historic train takes the passengers on a stunning journey through the mountains, along the edges of cliffs, and through some of the most dramatic scenery in all of Alaska. The route follows the same path that the Gold Rush miners used over 100 years ago, and the views are absolutely amazing. Now, I have to be honest with you, I was scheduled to visit Skagway twice on those back-to-back cruises. However, at the end of the day when I returned to the ship, after my first visit, I got an email saying that my next cruise schedule had been updated due to issues at the Skagway port, which prevented 2 large cruise ships from docking at the same day. Because of that, I ended up not riding the train or even returning to Skagway on that trip. As you can imagine, I was really disappointed, as the train ride had been on my bucket list forever. However, this kind of unexpected change is something to keep in mind when cruising, especially when sailing in Alaska. where conditions can change quickly and force itineraries to shift at the last minute. Well, I guess it is a good excuse to go back to Alaska, right? Even though I didn't ride the train, I have heard great things online and from other cruises on board who had the chance to experience it. Not surprisingly though, as the train ride is one of the top-rated experiences in the entire region. If you're the kind of traveler who loves scenic journeys and stunning landscapes, the White Pass Railway should be at the top of your list when visiting Skagway. Just be sure to book in advance, as it fills up quickly, especially during the busiest months of the Alaska cruise season. You can book the train on board your cruise ship, but I found that, although more practical, tickets for the same experience at the port stands are much less expensive. Another great way to guarantee your ticket before you even arrive in Skagway is to check excursions and tickets on Vieta, Get Your Guide, or the Shore Excursion site. They all offer great options for the city at affordable prices. And for your peace of mind, many of them guarantee refunds in the event of cancellations and a timely return to the port to rejoin your cruise. I will leave the links to some of my favorite excursions in the description of this video to help you plan. Just a quick note, some of these links may be affiliate links. This means I may earn a small commission if you make a booking, but it won't cost anything extra. I truly appreciate your support for our channel. Thank you so much. Even if you do nothing else in Skagway, exploring the historic downtown is a truly wonderful experience. So, don't just stay on board during the ship's stay. Go for a stroll to this small city surrounded by epic mountains and notable attractions. Broadway Street is the main street in town, packed with souvenir shops, local art galleries, small restaurants, and beautifully preserved historic buildings. Take your time here, there is no rush. This is exactly the kind of place where the best moments happen when you slow down and just look around. The buildings, the signs, the wooden sidewalks, everything has been kept in a way that feels authentic. It feels like a real piece of American history that has somehow survived into the present day. You even might come across some amusing things that might be straight out of the past. Now, here's one of my favorite spots in Skagway, and it is definitely one of the most unique places you'll visit on any Alaska cruise. The Red Onion Saloon. The Red Onion Saloon has been around since the Gold Rush days, when it operated as a brothel. Today, it is a restaurant, a bar, and a small museum, and it has become one of the most popular stops in Skagway for very good reasons. First, the place has a fantastic atmosphere. It feels like a real piece of the Old West, right down to the decor and the vibe. Second, and this is the part that gets people talking, the Red Onion Saloon is said to be one of the most haunted places in America and has even been featured on many TV ghost hunting shows. There are plenty of stories of strange things happening in the building, and you can even take a guided tour led by a guide in costume who tells you all about the place's history and the women who worked there during the Gold Rush years.
Photography, videography of any kind. I did not get discussed out for nothing. So just gonna have you make sure you have your flash turned off before we head upstairs. Everything up there is very light sensitive and we wouldn't want to damage those artifacts. That being said, there is one artifact in this very room that you're more than welcome to flash all you like. And that would be this my lantern right here.
It is quirky, it is fun, it is a little cheeky, it is completely Skagway. Do not miss it. When it comes to food, Skagway keeps things simple but very satisfying. This is Alaska, so fresh seafood is the obvious choice. Look out for fresh Alaskan salmon, halibut, and if you're feeling adventurous, reindeer sausage, which is a local specialty worth trying at least once. There are also some good local craft beers available at several spots around town, which pairs very well with the place's laid-back, frontier atmosphere. There are plenty of small restaurants and cafes in the downtown area, all within easy walking distance of each other. I would recommend grabbing a relaxed lunch somewhere in the middle of your day, between exploring the historic areas in the morning and doing a bit more shopping or sightseeing in the afternoon. If you have a bit of extra time and want to see more of Skagway, here are a few more ideas worth considering. The historic train depot near to the center of the town is worth a quick visit, even if you're not riding the railway. It offers good information about the history of the White Pass routes, and you can even check some of the old wagons and steam trains around the area. There are also a couple of small but interesting museums in town that go deeper into Gold Rush history and the story of Skagway. If history is your thing, these are worth an hour of your time. Walking along the harbor area also offers great views of the surrounding mountains and the ships docked in port. It is a nice easy walk with very little effort and very big reward. And if you want a bit of nature during your port day, there are some short hiking trails near town that give you access to beautiful views without needing a full excursion. Nothing too demanding, just a nice way to stretch your legs and get away from the crowds for a little while. Before we wrap up, here are a few practical tips to help you make the most of your time in Skagway. Get off of the ship as early as you can. Skagway is a small town, and when multiple ships are in port at the same time, the streets can get quite busy. Getting there early gives you a much more relaxed and enjoyable experience. If the White Pass Railway is in your list, book it before you sail. Seriously, do not wait until you are in the port. The trains fill up fast, especially during the peak season months of July and August. Wear comfortable walking shoes. You'll be on your feet for most of the day, and the wooden sidewalks and uneven surfaces around town are much easier to handle in good footwear. Bring a light jacket or a layer you can easily add or remove. The weather in Skagway, like that of all Alaska, can change quickly, and even on a warm sunny day, the temperature can drop fast without much notice. And finally, do not overplan your day. Skagway is a place that rewards slow exploration. Some of the best moments in the city come from wandering down a side street, stopping to read a historic sign, or sitting in a cafe and watching the town go by. Give yourself the space to enjoy it at your own pace. Skagway might be one of the smallest ports you'll visit on your Alaskan cruise, but it's also one of the most memorable. From the Gold Rush history to the stunning White Pass Railway, the charming historic streets, and yes, maybe even a ghost or two at the Red Onion Saloon. This is a port with a personality all its own, and in my experience, those are always the ones that stay with you the longest. If you enjoyed this video, or if this guide helped you plan the Skagway Port Day, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. More Alaska port guides are coming very soon in the series, and you don't want to miss them. And if you haven't seen my video about Juneau yet, go to check it out now. I will leave the link in the description and at this video end card. Happy sailing! See you in the next video. Stick with me, because I'm sure this is more Alaskan town. Who are there to take advantage of all these rumors. Maybe even a ghost or two at the Red Onion Saloon.